How many of you know there's some problems in Canada? Problems in Canada, don't you know? Hey. Have you guys seen Trudeau? What do you think about Trudeau? What team is he on? You know what I mean? What team is he on? Do you think he's on the... Okay, anyway. So we got some problems in Canada. How many of you saw this pastor that kept getting arrested for refusing to shut his church down? You remember this guy? Well, I cold called this guy, and through a series of poor life choices, he agreed to answer the phone. And we brought him on the ReAwaken America tour once, twice, 3 times, a lot of times. And he looked at me. We were at some dinner. I don't really do... Artur, do you remember this story? We were at some dinner. We were at a dinner. I don't do dinners. We're at some formal dinner. And I don't go to classy dinners because I'm not classy. You know, I'm kind of more of a dive bar kind of guy, you know. So I'm over at this classy dinner thing, and Artur looks at me and he says, "Oh, you're going to do another one of these things." You remember that? And I'm like, "I rebuke you. No, I don't want to go to fancy dinners and travel around the country." He said, "No, you'll do another one." I remember that. I was so pissed. Told my wife, "What's this crazy Canadian pastor telling me I'm going to do another ReAwaken tour?" Screw that guy. Well, anyway, turns out we become very good friends. I love this guy. He and General Flynn are kind of soulmates. So I feel like, General Flynn, you should come up here and kind of co-introduce this guy, and then we'll let you have a crack at it. But seriously, General Flynn loves you. I hold you in high regard. He does too. General Flynn, what do you want to say about Pastor Artur?
You must have books back there, right? All right, they're half price. All of his books are half price. Right now, I'm going to give you half. You're going to do half price, right? Half price. Yeah. No, all the. This is a guy you're going to hear from, and we're going to keep it moving. But his books are back there. If you want to read an unbelievable story about what is coming, and I just talked to Artur and I said, I want you to let them know that what he has been through is already here in America. Okay, it's here in America. It's not coming, folks. It's here. So you better listen. You got to pay attention to what is happening. And yes, we are live streaming all over the world right now. So people know that we're here, we're going to fight, we're going to stand, we're going to speak up, we're going to be strong and all these things. But you got to listen, and it's just not a cheerleading contest that we are here to do. We are not out here, like we're cheerleaders up here, right? We are pleading with you in many cases, asking you to take what you learn and take it back to wherever you're from and go do something with it and act. Act, okay? So you're about to hear from this great pastor, Artur Pawlowski, who actually studied to be a Catholic priest at one time, thought he was going to be a Catholic priest. And his mission was to take care of the homeless, to take care of people without a home in Canada, and they came and arrested him because he refused to do the whole COVID craziness, okay? So,
ladies and gentlemen, let's hear from Pastor Artur Pawlowski, all the way from Canada. Don't you know? Hey.
Thank you so much. Thank you, General. Thank you, Clay. Yes, it's true. We were sitting at a fancy dinner, and Clay is very serious sometimes. Sometimes. And he says, "I'm not doing another one. That's it. This is the last one." And I look at him, and I said, "No, you are doing another one." And he fights me. He should know better not to fight a Polish immigrant. We always win. Actually, the truth is, all the heroes in the Bible, Daniel, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, Joshua and Caleb, I'm telling you, I cannot prove it, but I'm telling you, they were Polish immigrants. I'm still working on the proof. He should know better. I said, "You're going to do it, another one, and then you will do another one because God told me He's going to do another one because it was needed." God raises people for such a time as this, and those men have been raised for such a time as this. And General Flynn is right. The enemy is not coming. The enemy is not at the gate. The enemy is within. You're dealing with the ism. You're dealing with globalism, socialism, fascism, humanism. All of those things combined together. And they hate you. And they want you dead. They want to take everything away from you. You will own nothing and you will be happy. I'm telling you, I grew up in hell and we were not happy. We were not happy. Well, today I'm not going to be sharing with you all the crazy stories of over 350 citations and many arrests in the middle of the highway, the solitary confinement, the metal cages, and all the crazy things the Canadian government, the communist, social, fascist government in China that did to me. Today, with my family, I want to thank you. Thank you, America, for fighting for freedom. Thank you, America, for defending God and state-given rights. Thank you, my American brothers and sisters, for standing with us through this unbelievable attack on our lives. Thank you, Americans, for embracing us into your family. Thank you for supporting our fight against the modern-day tyrants. We are very grateful to you. And thank you, America, for the American dream. Dream of liberty for everyone and justice for all. It is a beautiful dream. And together, let's keep forwarding that dream wherever we go. You see, you are the American eagles. And you already know how to fly. So go and reach the new heights. You are lions. So go and roar so loud that this roar would give hyenas the biggest headache. I want to invite my family. My son Nathaniel is going to share a few words. And then my wife and his wife. I want to just remind you something that one of your greatest, if not the greatest, American president said at the Brandenburg Gate in West Berlin, just few meters from the Berlin Wall. I want you to know that I was on the other side of that wall, waiting with anticipation for the American people to come and set us free. He said this, General Secretary Gorbachev, if you seek peace, if you seek prosperity for the Soviet Union and Eastern Europe, if you seek liberalization, come here to this gate. Mr. Gorbachev, open this gate. Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall. Of course, you know that that man was the President of the United States of America, Ronald Reagan. He said what was needed to be said at that time. Those many years ago, we had to turn down the wall of communism in a war. Today, your rightful president, Donald J. Trump, must build a wall. The one that would keep our future safe, our children protected, and our country secured. A wall that would keep the communism, Marxism, globalism out of our beloved America. You must understand that they're coming after you and they're coming after your children. President Trump simply stands in their way and he needs our support. We must build a wall so big that no enemies of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness would be able to breach it. And we must do this together in unity with God and with each other. Nathaniel, my son was blacklisted in Canada because when I was hunted like an animal, he stood for his father. And he testified in front of the European Parliament. For that crime, he was already detained 5 times. My brother David was arrested 12 times. I don't even remember how many times I was arrested. So here is Nathaniel. He has a word to the younger generation.
Thank you. So for those of you who don't know, I grew up witnessing a pastor, a man of God, be persecuted beyond imagination for over 20 years. But as my dad said, that's not the message. You've heard that before. You've heard this story. At every Awaken America tour, my dad always says the same stories, but today's message is different. So let me tell you a secret. We're winning. That's my main message today. Despite some of the most heinous and malicious persecution that I've ever seen to a human being, that I've ever even heard of. Have you ever heard of a pastor being arrested 16 times in court, more times sometimes than at home, over 150 times? In a first world country, a democratic country. We are winning. In fact, we've already won. That's what happens when you stick with God without compromise. We had a chance to compromise. My family was given opportunity after opportunity to compromise, and we decided not to. Offered money, bribes, but we stuck with God. And that's what I want to say next. You as Americans, as a country that made a covenant with God, cannot compromise God's moral standards. You can't compromise it for money or for anything else. We as a family could have compromised, but we stayed fast to God instead. And look, we've won. They tried with the full force of the Canadian government, and they were unsuccessful. My family came out victorious. We have our heads held high, and we are blessed. I've recently married, and I'm now in law school in Virginia. As you know, my family desperately needs an in-house lawyer. So my dad made a long-term investment. God has been leading us and blessing us because we did not compromise. Do not compromise America. And you will see what God will do in your lives and in your country. You American patriots made a difference. Believe it or not, all of you supporting, praying, helping, you made a difference. You may have changed Canadian law. You may have changed the course of history in Canada. And that's my message. You have power. Use it. How many elections have been won by just one vote? You can Google it right now. Elections have been won by just one vote. But they've been selling you a lie that you're voiceless, hopeless, helpless. It's a lie. 41 million members of Generation Z will be eligible to vote in this election. And I want to talk to you about the younger generation. I'm part of Gen Z. And my generation is lost. But there is hope. More and more of us are coming to the realization that what the world has to offer is futile. And they're turning to God. My father led by example, and that is why I am the way that I am today. We need more role models. We need less talk and more people to act. We need more people to do. Show us, younger generation, how it's done. Be role models. We need fathers. We need people to lead by example. Do not let them go on believing that they should hate our foundation and should hate what is good. Joseph Story, a founding father, once said, "There never has been a period in which the common law did not recognize Christianity as lying at its foundations. I verily believe that Christianity is necessary to support a civil society." If you wonder why this country is so messed up and heading in the wrong direction, it's because we have kicked God out of our judicial system, our schools, our homes, our families, and our government. If you bring back God into this election, you will see victory, America. Do not compromise. Stand firm with God. Stand by His moral standards. Fight for this country, even if that means persecution. And my family is a testimony to that. Thank you, and God bless.
Stay here. Thank you so much, Nathaniel. I want to ask my wife to come as well. And Nathaniel's wife, I'm still coping with this reality that my little boy, you know, the baby that was just born a few days ago, is now married. I'm in shock. I was not as much in shock when I got dragged in the middle of the highway as I am right now, looking at them, and he is married. Wow, amazing. And he's studying in your beautiful country. My wife is going to say a few words, but I want to give, we want to give as a family a gift, a book. This book I wrote in prison in solitary confinement, in the cages, with scraps of paper that the inmates were giving me. And I kept writing the story because I felt that one day maybe this story will encourage others to rise up, to stand up, and to fight. Because if a Polish immigrant with a funny accent can stand against the biggest tyrants in the land, that means you can do it as well. This book has been confiscated by the Canadian government already 3 times. 3 times. They tried to take it away because what's in it is the truth that they fear. So we have few left. If you can come and get them, that would be great. And Clay, this one copy is for you. Lions, I should say, Clays, do not bow before the hyenas. We eat them for breakfast, sir. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for everything.
Do you want to hear fairy tale? My son met his wife in front of jail. This is the fairy tale of this generation. First, we were attending rallies like this, not paying much attention to each other. But then, when my husband was in jail, this family, the father with the children and wife, was every day for 50 days in front of the jail. This is where you meet your wives and your husbands. Around rallies like this, when you've been dragged in front of the jails and who knows where. This is the last one, but I believe we are closing the chapter, but already another is opened. And we will be forever grateful to our American family. Forever. Thank you so much. I want you to know then the truth, it's very dangerous for the enemy. And we came in a time in history when we have to demand from our elected officials to stand on the truth. We have to demand it because we lost this country and we lost Canada because they wave. Thank you so much for having us here for so many years. Thank you.
You see, my friends, it's in the fire that God sets the captives free. It's in the fire He deals with our enemies. It's in the fire where you can have a personal encounter with the living God. It's in the fire that you become a testimony of a living God. And it's in the fire where your promotion is. So my friends, my brothers and sisters, do not run away from the fire. Run towards the fire, because that will ensure a victory after victory after victory. Without the fire, without the battlefield, there cannot be victory. And General Flynn, you are the greatest general that America had to me. You are my hero. You stood, you paid the price, and you are still willing to keep paying the price. I thank you. Our family thank you. God bless you. Thank you so much. God bless America.
One more time, let's hear for Pastor Artur Pawlowski.